And welcome to Interesting to See, Daily Sports Podcast News, Narratives, Takes, and Gambling. Is Victor Wembanyama good? Some are saying. Cool.
Wemby tries to counter it.
Oh, right at Chet Holmgren. Spurs and Thunder would be a rivalry for a while, I guess. The Thunder are way better. Chet sat out the whole year now. Victor's like, I am the best skinny tall guy in the league. What's up, Chet? Gonzaga Chet. Wemby gets his ass kicked again. Joel Embiid dummied him in Philly. We have NBA stuff today, but the top story today is one that we would have done on Controversial Wednesday. Did not have a show yesterday because of some technical stuff, and it just wasn't going to happen. How many times can you restart a computer? Okay. If you recall, in 2020, 2021, one of those years, we were doing this program, and we talked about an alleged incident that happened in a hotel room after a gala featuring the 2018 Canadian junior hockey team. So if you don't know hockey, the World Juniors are it's sort of, I mean, nothing's like the World Cup, but it's the biggest international thing. I believe the oldest you can technically be, like there are some situations where people can be 20 years old and play for juniors teams, but it's usually 17, 18, 19-year-olds who's got the best junior players. And they all of the great players you know have played in this tournament. Many of them have won it. It's being in the triple gold club is a gold medal, a World Juniors Championship, and the Stanley Cup, right? So Canada wins in 2018. The team is loaded. Okay, the team is loaded. So they win the gold, and then 6 months later there's a gala where everyone just kisses their ass and like, look, I mean, Canada loves hockey, obviously. A woman was allegedly sexually assaulted by 5 players from this team following this gala. They were being investigated. No charges were filed. During this time, this is in 2018, we find out the investigation is happening around 2020, 2021, somewhere in there. And during this time, we find out that the Canadian Juniors organization, Hockey Canada, has settled out of court. The lawsuit from this woman was $3.5 million, and charges were dropped. You're like, okay. What this means is, usually, victim got paid. Civil justice is justice for some people. And charges were dropped. Thought it was going to go away. False. Upon further investigation, authorities in London, Canada, Ontario, not London, London, investigate again, and now they want to bring charges. 5 players from the team have been told by London, Ontario police to surrender to the cops. At the same time, 5 NHL players have been given leaves of absences from their respective hockey teams, including some pretty famous ones, the most famous of whom is Carter Hart, the goalie for the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, due to some investigative work from this guy right here, I lived in Philly at the time when Carter Hart was coming up, and I was able to look at his career. He had a hot start, and then he kind of hit the skids a little bit and sucked, and then he came back and was really good, and the Flyers are an incredible story this year, and he's a very good goalie. So he comes out in 2018, 2019. So this incident, if it involved Hart at all, which is, we don't know, he happened in like the summer. Then he starts to play for the Flyers like in the winter, and he's really, really good. And then there's these allegations and stuff, and during that time, Carter Hart is horrible. It doesn't line up exactly, but then charges are dropped and it's settled out of court. Carter Hart starts to play well. I don't know. He is one of the 5 guys. You will recognize some of the names if you're a hockey fan. If you're not, you might not. Alex Formenton, Michael McLeod, Cal Foote, Dylan Dubé. I think that's all of them. Cal Foote is the son of Adam Foote, which he is hockey royalty. Hart, Dubé, Formenton, McLeod, Foote, and they all just had these weird leaves of absence that happened, and people were like, what's going on? And then they're like, oh, yeah, these are all on this 2018 junior team. They have been told to surrender. That those guys, we don't know if they're the people that are involved. It is suspicious, and if they're willingly surrendering, that means that they're going to be processed, and if that's what's happening. 2 of these guys played for the Devils, by the way. Cal Foote and Dylan Dubé. I don't know. they're going to allow themselves to be arrested. So this is a very serious situation. Obviously, anytime sexual assault is involved, it's really serious. It's rocking the hockey world. People are scared to comment. They don't know what's going on. This has been in the works for years and years, and I don't know how it works in Canada. I imagine it's similar to how it works in the United States. In the United States, a victim of a crime, specifically a sex crime, can't refuse to press charges. They can refuse to cooperate. They can't refuse to press charges. Okay, so what that means is that even if this victim didn't want this to happen, it's not up to her. It's a crime against the state, so the state can pursue charges. It was dropped, and even if she weren't cooperating, it would be hard to imagine that they could prove anything without her saying that, like testifying and whatnot, but who knows? You know. Okay, let's go to the association. Let's look at this highlight of the Mavs and the Suns hating each other. Love to see it.
Like he had to go stand up to him. You know, Nurkic knows Grant's reputation, right? Yes, he's there for the defense, but this guy's known as an agitator, and he will not back down.
So our crew chief is David Guthrie, Sean Corbin, and Brett Nansel, the three officials.
Watch this. Boop.
Crew.
And then what?
We'll take a look at this.
He's like, just step over him. He's like, don't get off him. Boom. Nurkic, that's the guy that got sucker punched by Draymond Green earlier in the year. Okay, let's watch this incident. We don't have the tape of the incident. We have the tape of the incident after the incident. So here is what we heard the guy said. Here we go. This guy getting ejected. There he goes. Right, so there he goes. And what did he say? According to BarstoolSports.com, Luka, you're tired. Get your ass on the treadmill. Luka is fat. You can be fat and a good basketball player, man. It's crazy. And then here's Luka responding to it, clapping back at a reporter because he got a fan ejected.
Luka, what were you frustrated about at the end of the second quarter when you got that technical?
I know I saw you when you said about the fan, you know. That was not a true all. That was not the only thing he said. But I knew you would be the first one to point out something like that. I'm not going to say what he said, but I knew you were going to be the first one to put out something like that. So I just saw it, man. It's just funny. You always seem to be the first one to put some bad stuff about me.
First of all, 99% of the stuff I've written about you has been good.
I don't know.
I was sitting 2 rows behind us.
All right, so it was the only thing that time he said something, the only thing?
That was what you reacted to.
Yeah, I was hearing the whole first half, right? Oh, you didn't hear anything?
He was definitely hollering.
Okay, there we go.
Acted.
But you put out something that was just the only thing. But
Okay, what was the issue?
I love the NBA. It's not really a sport. It's like it's WWE. And by the way, they've confirmed this. It's not scripted, but it is rigged. The players, all the former players talk about it. It's literally been confirmed by people who were referees. The most famous incident was like 2000, 2001, the Western Conference Final between Sacramento and LA, that they wanted it to go to a Game 7, so they just screwed LA in Game 6. Like, that's a confirmed thing. The league was like, yo, Game 7, and the refs did it. So, like, NBA is not... NFL has some of that, but not to this extent. So, the after the game stuff is... The after the game stuff is part of the deal in the NBA, which happens. Jim Harbaugh got himself a coaching job in Los Angeles. The Detroit News is reporting that he was playing the Chargers and Michigan against each other. Michigan's going to pay him significantly more than the Chargers would. But that's not what he wanted. A ton of money is not what he wanted, according to a guy I saw on Twitter. And the report from the Detroit News, the confirmed screenshot from the Detroit News, said that he wanted language that Michigan couldn't fire him, that they had to pay him. Why would he be fired? He's cheating. If they had to fire him, that means that Jim is scared that whatever's going to come out is bad. He wants to be unfireable. And if he got fired by Michigan from cheating, he wouldn't get to go to the league. You got to get out before the boat sinks. And Michigan wouldn't put a no-fire clause in his contract. They were doing it. Allegedly, they did capitulate, but at that time he had already agreed to terms with the Chargers. I want to be very clear. He is going to bomb in the NFL. He's going to bomb. Before he bombs, it's possible that they almost win a Super Bowl. But he will piss off everyone there. The thing that guys like Harbaugh don't understand is that he kind of puts himself at the same level as like a Belichick or a Pete Carroll, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, where they like run these organizations because he got Colin Kaepernick to the Super Bowl. But he went to Michigan, he was going to be fired in San Francisco. He wasn't. He left for Michigan. He was going to be fired because he pisses off everyone. He's going to go in there and he's going to look these owners in the face and just kind of be a dick to them. Well, that's not how you treat billionaires, especially in the difference at Michigan. You got to you can treat them however you want. It's like your charm when you're a little god in college when they're boosters. Here, they're literally your boss. So he's going to bomb. I don't know that it has fully resonated with him that Justin Herbert is the most important person in his life right now. It may have. It may not have. Who knows? Referee Sean Smith has been assigned to the AFC Championship game, which is important because Sean Smith is a predictably easy ref for road teams. A lot of conspiracies abound that the NFL wants Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. Obviously they do, but it's not going to impact how many people watch it. I don't think, maybe. And if Travis Kelce were to be in the Super Bowl, more people would be there. She plays in Tokyo on the same day as the Super Bowl, but because of how the space-time continuum works, or the day before, I don't know, she can get to the Super Bowl in Vegas in time because of how, if you fly back across the international date line, time goes backwards or something. I think that it's possible. She would then have to get on a plane and be in Australia. I don't know. It's possible. Does the NFL want Kansas City in the Super Bowl? Probably, definitely, yeah. The NFL would like Chiefs-Lions, I think, if I had to guess. All right, back and better than ever. Football Friday. Second to last Football Friday of the year. Jeez, it's already done. All right, bye-bye.